Well, folks, an ad in yesterday's New York Times is asking President Biden not to create another Iran. The ad by the World Values Network creates the president credits him for the crippling sanctions on Russia, but wonders why the administration is lifting sanctions against Iran in hopes of a nuclear deal.
And that's not all. As former Trump White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow points out, the Biden administration is actually working with Russia, we mentioned this earlier, to make the deal go through.
Joining us now to discuss, Rabbi, author and founder of the World Values Network, Rabbi Shmuley, and Senate Chairman, National Iranian Congress, Amir A. Fkhravar. So, Rabbi Shmuley, let me ask you your take on this.
Just imagine for a moment, the whole reason that we have this crisis in Ukraine, the worst humanitarian crisis caused by a war in Europe since the Second World War, is because of appeasement, appeasement, appeasement. We didn't do anything about Putin in Georgia. We didn't do anything about Putin with Chechnya, and especially when he took Crimea. Now he invades all of Ukraine. Why are we imposing crippling sanctions on Putin for Ukraine, and we're about to lift the sanctions against Iran? I want you to understand that sanctions either work or they don't work. Now, if President Biden is saying we're not going to send troops and no-fly zone, it's not necessary, we can just decimate his economy, why would we give the #1 terror-sponsoring government on planet Earth, Iran, who murdered our soldiers in Khobar Towers, 1996, Iran, who killed hundreds of American soldiers in Iraq, and Iran, who maimed thousands of American soldiers and coalition members in Iraq, why are we going to lift these sanctions? And by the way, one final thing. To give Iran $100 billion right now, which the Biden administration will do, and to have Russia being party to negotiating this treaty with Rob Malley, our negotiator, it's a moral abomination.
Yeah, Amir, I want you to comment on that, but also this, because it does look like now talks may have hit a snag, despite Secretary of State Blinken saying that sides were close. Russia's reportedly insisting that the revival of the 2015 pact be linked to Western sanctions over Ukraine, and the Russians saying that the deal cannot discriminate. Your thoughts on all of this?
First of all, when Lavrov says such a thing, then that means you can see the level of desperation over there in Russia. They don't know what they should do. But I want to go back to the Robert Malley. Rob Malley is the Iran envoy at the State Department right now and leading negotiation in Vienna, which the fourth colleague of himself, called Gabriel Noronha, he resigned. He was the top advisor of State Department. He resigned from the negotiation team, and then he wrote it on Twitter, his Twitter, and said, I am out after I had conversation with my State Department colleague, with NSE colleague, NSC, and with the EU colleague, European Union. And he said, this negotiation is, quoting from him, what's happening in Vienna is a total disaster. Robert Malley, as an agent of Iranian Ayatollah, acting right now at this negotiation table to make sure they can give as much as possible benefit to Iranian regime, to the mullahs, to
fair enough, Amir. Fair enough.
Something.
We only have about 30 seconds. Rabbi, the rationale is to keep them from developing nuclear weapons. This is why they're capitulating to Iran. We've got about 30 seconds.
If that were true, then they would have extended the sunset clauses to the exact opposite is true. This is a roadmap to create nuclear weapons. It only puts sunset clauses for about 5 years.
Because they go out of effect,
They are nearly at total enrichment of uranium, which will give them a bomb. Iran is an oil superpower. They don't need nuclear power except to build a bomb, build a bomb, build a bomb. They're killers, they're liars, they're terrorists. They should not
Because of breaking news, we were short on time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Rabbi and Amir, thank you so much for being with us